In November 2012, 26-year-old Emma Fillipoff disappeared in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. 12 years have passed, and her family still hasn't given up the search. In this video, we will try to understand what really happened. Emma was born on January 6, 1986 in Perth, a small town near Ottawa in eastern Ontario. It was a close-knit town where people always supported one another. Emma's family included 3 siblings and her parents, James and Shelley. Her parents had built the family home with their own hands. Emma was described as an active, kind, and modest girl who was gentle and quiet. Her sister noted that Emma had a unique, magnetic, and somewhat amusing personality. In the fall of 2011, after living with her father in Perth for some time, Emma returned to British Columbia and took a job at the seafood restaurant Red Fish Blue Fish, located in Victoria's Harbour. At that time, she was living on a houseboat with a roommate. On October 31, 2012, Emma left her job, as it was seasonal. She told her colleagues she planned to return in the spring. On November 21, 2012, Emma hired a tow truck to move her Mazda van from the small town of Souk to the garage of the Chateau Victoria Hotel. Most likely her vehicle had issues, as she wouldn't have needed a tow otherwise. Emma enjoyed solitude, and her family often didn't know what was happening with her. The letters she sometimes wrote to her loved ones, filled with optimism and poetry, convinced them that she was doing well, happy, and healthy. However, it was later revealed that since February 2012, Emma had occasionally been living at the women's shelter Sandy Merriman House, which had a policy of 1-month stay, followed by a month away before she could return. While staying at the shelter, Emma avoided socializing, kept her curtains closed, and appeared on edge. Shelter staff noted that she often seemed frightened, though she never explained what was troubling her. That week, Emma called her mother several times, and with each call, her voice sounded increasingly anxious. One day, she asked if she could come home. Shelley, her mother, was happy with her daughter's decision, but soon after, Emma asked her mother to come to Victoria to help her with some matters. However, whenever Shelley began planning her trip, Emma would discourage her. This situation repeated several times. At that time, Shelley didn't know that Emma had been staying at Sandy Merriman House. When her daughter finally admitted it, her last words in the conversation were, "I don't know how I can face you." These words prompted her mother to act. On the morning of November 28, 2012, surveillance cameras captured Emma at a 7-Eleven store where she purchased a prepaid mobile phone. Afterward, she stood outside for a while, looking around before leaving. Later that day, she bought a $200 prepaid bank card and once again showed hesitation before exiting. These purchases seemed unusual as Emma had never used mobile phones. She was content with public phones and the shelter's phone. She also had about $3,000 in her bank account and access to these funds. Later that evening, around 6 p.m., Emma left the shelter and took a taxi, asking the driver to take her to Victoria Airport. However, she soon asked him to stop, saying she didn't have enough money for the fare, even though she had both a bank card and the prepaid card she'd bought earlier. Later, around 8 p.m., an acquaintance named Dennis Key saw her walking barefoot near the Empress Hotel. Walking barefoot was typical for Emma, but her anxious demeanor worried Dennis. He stayed with her, asking questions about her well-being, and then called the police. The police arrived at the hotel within minutes. The officers noticed that Emma was pacing back and forth near the crosswalk but wasn't crossing the street. She kept looking around as if she were searching for someone. They asked if she was okay and if she had any intentions of harming herself or others. Emma assured them that she had no intention of causing harm and that she was fine. She explained that she was just going through a tough time and was out for a walk. The police concluded that Emma was not a threat to herself or others, and that her physical and mental condition did not raise serious concerns. After filing a report, they let her go. Dennis, assuming the police would handle the situation, had left by then. At 11 p.m., Shelley arrived at the shelter to find Emma, but she was informed that her daughter had left about 5 hours earlier. The police met with Shelley and learned that no one had seen Emma since 8 p.m. Shelley shared details of her strange phone conversations with Emma, and the shelter staff mentioned her paranoid behavior. By midnight, Emma Fillipoff was officially declared missing. As the police conducted their investigation, they found Emma's Mazda van in the parking lot of the Chateau Victoria Hotel. Inside were almost all her belongings, except those she had taken with her in a backpack. Among the items found were her passport, library card, camera, clothes, pillow, laptop, and recently borrowed books. The police speculated that the van served as a storage space for her as she led a nomadic lifestyle. When police examined Emma's laptop, they found her diary. In it, she hinted at feelings of loneliness and depression, though she hadn't shared these struggles with anyone. She seemed to hide her pain and didn't know how to ask for help. Initially, everything indicated that Emma planned to return to Perth to stay with her mother until spring, intending to return to work at Redfish Bluefish. However, the police never determined whether Emma actually left Victoria. After her disappearance, divers searched the harbor 3 times, but no trace of Emma was found. Reviewing surveillance footage from the YMCA and 7-Eleven, police tried to track her phone and prepaid card. However, they discovered that the phone had never been activated. Eventually, it was found that the prepaid card had been used to buy cigarettes. The man who made the purchase claimed he found the card on the road near the Juan de Fuca Community Center, about 20 kilometers from where Emma was last seen. He was questioned and underwent a polygraph test, after which he was cleared of suspicion. A search of the area where the card was found yielded no leads. Shelley continued to hold out hope of finding Emma even after she had to return home. She kept searching independently, conducting her own investigations and exploring areas around Vancouver. Shelley received a tip that her daughter might have been seen in Vancouver. At one point, she reached out to CBC, which caught the attention of producers from the Fifth Estate, who decided to investigate the case themselves. After the case gained media attention, the show's producers received a photograph showing a woman sitting in a cafe, deeply engrossed in writing or reading. This scene was characteristic of Emma, as she loved spending time this way both in Perth and Victoria. This photo gave Shelley new hope. However, the joy was short-lived. Soon, a woman came forward saying that it was her in the photo, not Emma. A re-examination of Emma's laptop, poems, and diary revealed that she often felt like someone was watching her. A note found on her computer led the police to consider suicide as a possibility. However, Shelley was convinced her daughter would never take such a step and continued to reject this theory. Investigators from the Fifth Estate also didn't believe the note resembled a suicide letter. Although Shelley thought it unlikely that Emma would choose suicide, it was hard to entirely rule out the possibility. In May 2014, the Campbell River Courier Islander reported an incident in a store in Gastown, Vancouver. A strange man in jeans and a green shirt appeared with a crumpled piece of paper in his hand. The paper was a missing person poster for Emma. The man looked agitated and reportedly said, "This is one of those missing person posters, but she's not missing. She's my girlfriend, and she ran away because she hates her parents." His identity remains unknown. Emma Fillipoff disappeared on November 28, 2012, when she was 26 years old. 12 years later, her fate is still unknown, and her family and friends continue searching for answers. And that concludes our coverage of this tragic story. If you found this video informative or thought-provoking, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on cases like these. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with your friends and give it a thumbs up if you found it valuable. Thank you for watching.